This is a placebo effect.
Even the devs use controller, bro.
November 2nd, 2021 is considered one of the darkest days in Apex console history. What was allegedly supposed to be a small quality of life change to balance competitive custom lobbies turned into something much worse, with drama,
Players are delusional.
controversy, and full-blown meltdowns. To understand the severity of this change and why only console players were affected, we'll need to address the elephant in the room. What is aim assist? Aim assist is a few lines of code designed to even the playing ground between mouse and keyboard users and controllers, helping slow down your aim over enemies and instantly responding to enemies that are strafing to make up for the physical movement of the thumbstick in something that's called rotational aim assist, which is a huge point of contention for many. There is a lot of misinformation about aim assist, either by bad actors or players who are overall ignorant, repeating false facts, and as such there is a massive gap between mouse and keyboard and controller users. There are endless debates and flame wars with content creators spreading misinformation and fanning the flames for their own clout. But hey, maybe I should just cover that in another video. I know you want to hear more about the story, but I'm prefacing the video with this because I don't want to be lumped in with those bad faith actors, and I want you, the viewer, to enjoy the video and trust that what I am presenting you with is the actual facts. So let's move on. It's not double, it's 0.4 versus 0.6. Consoles have higher aim assist because of higher input lag and lower FPS compared to PCs. As many of you know, a controller plugged into a console has a much stronger aim assist than the same controller if plugged into a PC. In fact, the aim assist value is 50% stronger. The values on console are 0.6, with the PC values being 0.4, where 0 is nothing, you know, the same as mouse and keyboard, and 1 is a literal aimbot once the enemy gets into range. We don't know exactly why Respawn decided to tune the values like this, but one can assume that it's either to make it easier for casuals to stay relevant when playing on console, or as a feature to give the worst performing platforms a chance when going up against the higher frame rates on PC. But Apex on console has had 0.6 aim assist since release, and crossplay in any capacity wasn't even possible or mentioned until October 6th in 2020, almost 2 years later. Likewise, Apex had a thriving esports scene primarily on PC since the game's release, where players had to get into Discord servers and queue up at the same time in something used across many esports titles, which do lack custom lobbies, and that's known as Q-Snipes. These Q-Snipe servers evolved throughout the game and went under many different names, such as Battlecord, Apex Pro League, and more, and seeing as they have a thriving esports scene, the PC community received the ability to compete in custom lobbies way before console did and had plenty of tournaments. In contrast, the much smaller console scene had to continue with Q-Snipes on their own. Even after the introduction of crossplay in late 2020, console players still didn't have the ability to host or join custom games, leading to an increased animosity towards the PC pros. This was around the same time consoles and PC started to clash, with pro streamers dying to console players in ranked and calling the 0.6 aim assist aimbot. 0.6 aim assist is way too strong, and it just gives anyone the ability to beam if they would have otherwise terrible aim. They are extremely biased and delusional. Most of them haven't even tried both sides of the argument and give a strong opinion, so don't give yourself a headache arguing with them, just switch to controller. The divide grew farther, and console players were eager to show their skills in actual tournaments rather than in the ranked ladder. And finally, console players' wishes came true. On May 4th, 2021, with the Season 9 update, console received the ability to join custom lobbies, and it was announced that console players were allowed to compete in the upcoming Apex Legends Global Series. This change was scoffed at by many PC pros because the console esports player base was severely underdeveloped, in part because it didn't have anywhere to practice, and there were plenty of fears about hardware cheats such as the strike packs or the Kronos Zens, which are packs that you can place on your controller to give you abilities one would consider unnatural. Of course, the game would be dead without it. Controller players need aim assist, without a doubt, just not as strong as it is. Mouse and keyboard players have much more control over shots. You're complaining over nothing. Just get better at training your sights and your enemies and stop being bitter. The rule sets regarding console players in the ALGS were very much disliked by PC players.
Even the devs use controller, bro.
As they were competing for actual prize money with what was considered a too strong of an aim assist. After much uproar with controversial takes from both sides, Respawn compromised and decided to limit aim assist to 0.4 in all tournaments hosted on PC. This includes the ALGS, where players could compete for up to $2 million. But this feature wasn't available in the current Apex client, so some changes had to be made. So in the Season 10 patch on the 3rd of August 2021, custom lobby enjoyers would find a new setting in the bottom right of the lobbies. This was also listed in the patch notes and was called the aim assist override setting. This setting, when ticked on, would turn off the console aim assist for any console players that are competing in said tournament and let all the controllers compete on the fair aim assist value of 0.4, which again, that's the default for PC. This feature left a sour taste in many console players' mouths, but ultimately, I'd say it went through pretty smoothly. This setting was coupled with a new rule set in the ALGS where the aim assist override function had to be enabled in every single game. Despite this, there were some growing pains as there were cases of admins simply forgetting to tick the aim assist override button, letting some console players compete with their stronger aim assist despite it being against the rules, but as there wasn't really any evidence of it happening, no replays were really being made. And this is probably what prompted Respawn to make the mistake which caused the D-Day. And that brings us to November 2nd, 2021, the dreaded day that seemed like it would change everything. Along with the rest of the Season 11 updates, Respawn added a feature that tweaked aim assist override from being off by default to instead being ticked on whenever you'd start a custom lobby. Not much was fought or said about this other than the odd sigh of relief from PC pros and the outcry of some console users, but things started getting heated in the casual forums such as Facebook or Reddit when console players realized that wait a minute, the beams that they normally hit no longer connect. It turns out that aim assist actually does do something, and Respawn actually did something that nerfed it. This whole chaos did take a little while to, be noticed and to pick up, and all the events of this day took place in a little over 24 hours. It all started when the patch would release on November 2nd, 1 PM Eastern Time, and spanning until Respawn released a hot fix along with a tweeted statement on November 3rd, 5:03 PM. During the time that aim assist was nerfed, a lot of players were in shambles, but some console players were rejoicing because the skill gap between a bad player and a better player had widened, giving them a chance to outplay enemies who were too reliant on the stronger aim assist and now just couldn't keep up. And this is where some users would put on the tinfoil hat and ask, was this an accidental nerf, or was Respawn testing the waters to see how the community would respond to a nerf? I mean, there's been so much talk and controversy about aim assist, maybe they want to see if they could get away with it. Would they even notice if nobody told them about it? And it turns out that, yeah, people will notice. It's a very noticeable difference. Personally, I don't think it was Respawn's intention to test the reception of what would happen if aim assist was nerfed. On the contrary, I think they just made an oopsie and changed the code turning aim assist to 0.4 as a default across the board instead of in just custom lobbies. I don't do too much code, but I'm pretty sure it comes down to like putting an if statement in one line of code versus another line of code. Rookie mistake. And they just forgot to account for the console platform. But that's just my take, and I'm always open to hearing yours in the comments. This whole event, intentional or not, gave us an insight into the console community's true feelings of aim assist, and has been brought up time and time again in the aim assist debate, and now you're caught up to speed too. If you're interested about Apex streamers who were caught cheating and whether well-knowns are too, check out the video on the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.